I'm Mary Cohen. It's Johnson County Community College, and it's our community. We have some wonderful guests today, and they are 5 of them: Desiree, Deandra, Gregory, Melody, and Ryan, the 5 Browns. And they all have a terrific talent that I don't have, but they play the piano. I have to tell you, my mother, I tried to play the piano, and finally when I was 13, I got up the courage to say, "Mother, I don't want to do this." She said, "Well, that's just fine." And the next day she sold the piano.
Well, I guess piano's not for everyone.
It's not. You know, Melody made note of the fact that raising 5 piano prodigies is not always easy. Why did you say that, Melody?
Oh, I think my parents definitely had to make a lot of sacrifices through their lives. I mean, there was one point where the cost of our piano lessons was higher than our house payments. So my parents definitely had to sacrifice a lot.
Yes, no dogs, no cats, everything went for the kids' lessons. I wonder, do you think they ever had any second thoughts about it?
It was important to them to have music in the home, and so when my mom originally started Desiree at the age of 3 on piano lessons, she never intended for any of this to happen. They never, we never called ourselves prodigies. We never even thought that way. We just went through our daily routine of practicing, and we did competitions along the way, and eventually got into Juilliard. I never expected that, and
you just
now we're
told
touring.
that Desiree was the oldest. You let the cat out of the bag. Shame on you.
Sorry.
So you think that they never looked back once they started?
They never intended any of this. We never intended any of this. I think if it had been planned, it might not have worked. We just kind of went with the flow of what was going
I think that
along
is
the
true.
way.
I think that is true. What made you touch the piano? Your parents are not particularly musical, are they?
Well, my mom was trained as a singer in college in opera, and she could play the piano a little bit. And so she found a teacher that taught kids as young as 3 years old. And so I guess being the oldest, I started first, and I guess it looked like fun because then everybody else wanted to play. I remember them wanting to start taking lessons when they turned 3. And then, I don't know, I remember right from the start, I really loved it. Like, it felt important to me, and
It's interesting.
I really enjoyed it.
It's just like all little brothers. They always wanted what you had.
Oh, I didn't mind. I thought it was fun. We all had so much in common growing up, and it felt nice,
But
we
see,
could talk
let's
to
go
each other
back
about
to
it.
that. You all had something in common. And I think that's so interesting because if you hadn't liked it, they would not have done it. I really don't think.
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
think
they
so.
would have. It's
I'm a psychologist.
Okay, you're the one. Okay, I'll take you at your word.
But I do. I think the fact that you took to it and they then followed right along.
Well, I hope in some ways I was a good influence on these guys. I know they are to me
I'm
in some
trying
ways.
to make it good.
Okay, all right, it's good. Oh, geez, thank you. It's all me. It's all me.
I have to ask you, I love to talk to talented people that have a particular talent, whether they paint or write or play an instrument. There are a lot of people that play the piano, and they play well, but they don't do what you've done. Why is it that you are excellent at what you do, and somebody else, what is it? What goes through your mind? What do you think about when you sit there and play?
Oh, geez, that's a tough question. I think what we think about is just the music itself. Sometimes on a good performance, it just feels so incredible to just sort of lose yourself in the music. And for me, when I'm watching other artists, that's sort of the mark of a true artist, of someone who really understands the music, is when they totally just lose themselves through it, and you can kind of tell who they are as an individual through what they're doing up on stage. And that's sort of what we all shoot for. You have your good days and your bad days, and this is what we love to do, and the good days are incredible.
Sure. Does anybody else have a thought? What do you think about?
Well, it's amazing that we can do what we love together, to be able to travel around the world together, because normally soloists, it's a very kind of lonely environment where you have to stay in your hotel room by yourself, eat by yourself. So we kind of think that we get the best of both. We get to travel around with our best friends and play the music we love, and we have really sweet people in the audience every night that come up to us when we greet them afterwards and tell us how much the music meant to them, how great of a time that they had. That's a dream for musicians.
It is, but I want to pull a thread out of something that Gregory said. And he said, we lose ourselves in the music. See, to me, that's the difference. I interviewed one time, long time ago, a classical guitarist, and I asked him that same question. And he said, because I'm able to take that extra step over the threshold. And I think that's true. Because I said, well, I mean, I'd be thinking about, oh, I'm going to go do this tomorrow. There's a piece of lint on the floor over there. So you see, I don't. But he was able, he said, to take that extra step. And he said, when I can take that extra step, the only thing I know is the music, the sound, what I'm doing, and focus.
Absolutely, and that comes I think preparation comes into play, because unless you're really prepared and feel like you know what you're doing on stage, it's hard to sort of take that next step and to lose yourself in the music and really communicate with the audience if you're thinking about, oh, well, I gotta remember which chord is coming up next, or like you said, there's a piece of lint on the floor. Yeah. And those, I think that's when you kind of lose that connection with the audience.
There it is, the connection with what you're doing and with the audience. But those are the threads. You lose yourself in the music, and you have a real connection with yourself and with the audience. I just think it's fascinating. Was it this easy when you first started? You were all very young. I mean, you're not all that old. Everything's relative. Ryan, by the way, is the baby.
Yeah, I'm the youngest here.
I had to say that.
Thanks. Yeah, it wasn't always easy for us. There's like Greg said, there's your good days and your bad days, and you just try to push through those bad days. Practicing is never easy. I think you could ask any musician, and sometimes it gets pretty hard. But for the most part, you just keep pushing through, and then the good days really are so rewarding that I think it just makes it all the difference.
The applause makes it all worthwhile. I have to ask you a question, and obviously I read about you before we started doing that. And in every piece, I looked at different spots. In every piece about you, it mentions the fact that you're Mormons. Every single piece. Now that is not true with most artists or most people that are out there on the web. Why do you do that?
I think it's something that ties us together, and we have more of a connection in that realm of our lives, in that spiritual realm, than even the music is. So I think the fact that we're Mormon, that we love our faith so much, even when we're on the road, we'll try to find the nearest church to go to on Sunday. And I think that our faith really ties us more than anything else, because we have that commonality there. And so whenever you're having a bad day on the road or at home or wherever you are, it's nice to know that your sibling they have the same ideals, the same everything, and that they can boost your spirits. And so it's so nice to have that there.
What you're saying is that it's a 24/7 commitment.
Definitely. I think it's really what keeps us happy in doing this, because like Deandra was saying before, this can be a lonely lifestyle, and family is so important to us. Not only the five of us as a family, but our spouses and, our own little families, they're so important to us. So we try to balance it. So really our faith is in all areas of our lives.
Are there more little Browns that we haven't discovered yet?
Not yet, but you never know, it could be happening soon. You never know.
So better call your mother. Anything happened while we were gone. But you see, it's a wonderful thing, and no matter what religion people have or what beliefs they have, if they are theirs 7 days a week, it makes all the difference, I think, in one's life. I truly do. I do have to say that you two, five of you have a lot of togetherness. I mean, I think I might lose my mind. But, you were homeschooled. You went to Juilliard together for 5 years. You travel together. You practice together. You eat together. 2 of you are married. Yes?
5 of us are married.
All 5 of you are married?
Actually, all 5 of us are married now.
All 5 of you?
Yeah, Greg
okay,
was
so we have 5 spouses in there, but the 5 of you really are kind of glued together a lot of the time. What kind of separate lives? Do you see each other when you're not on the road? How do you separate the life that you're stuck together. I mean, I don't know what else to say. How do you separate your lives?
I mean, it definitely is a balancing game. I mean, from the beginning, it's been there. When we started touring together, there definitely was a learning curve. Like, how much togetherness is too much, and how much time do we need alone? You know, now we know we all need separate hotel rooms. You know, so we can talk to our spouses. When we need a certain amount of time at home, we try to do 2 weeks at home and then 2 weeks on the road, on and off throughout the year. To try to balance it that way. And, you know, the funny thing is, though, even when we do go home, we're like, okay, we need our private time.
I don't want to see you for 2 weeks.
But we do end up still calling each other, hey, you want to come over for games? You want to go see a movie? You know, so we do end up hanging out. We really are, you know, really great friends. And I don't think it would work if we weren't.
How do the spouses fit into this group of 5 here? Do they Is it okay with them? I mean, talk about that a little bit. I think that's really interesting.
They all have to really get along, you know, kind of like us, you know, since we're all 5 of us are on the road at the same time. When we're gone, a lot of times they tend to hang out as well, and so
do they?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how that works out. So whenever you know, when Greg got married or when I got married, we were hoping that our wives would you know, hang out with the guys and they would get along, and it happened to be that they did.
Well, I guess when somebody got married, the other 9 had to interview her.
You know, we are kind of opinionated. We always have been in that way. You know, we try to be understanding and thoughtful about the way we go about it. But, you know, it is welcoming somebody new into the family, and you're going to be spending every holiday for the rest of your lives with that person. So you do hope that you like them. And we're really, really blessed that we've each married somebody who's perfect for the one that they married, and they all understand how important this music is to us.
And that's the key, is it not?
It's a part of us that they love about us, so they wouldn't want to change that for anything.
Any of them musical?
Desiree's husband is a concert violinist, and he's very, very talented, so watch out for the genes that combine in those two at some point.
We've got some big choices coming up.
And we've got several that play the piano. Both the boys' wives, each of their wives play the piano.
Maybe we could have the Brown concert orchestra or something. I mean, we're working in that direction.
We kind of figure at this point there's no recreating what's happened here. We're not even going to take that responsibility on ourselves. If our children are interested in music, we will definitely, you know, pursue that with them, but we're not going to even try to like recreate.
Is that the
it
attitude
all.
your parents took? If you were interested, it was good, and if you weren't, it was okay?
I think they wanted us at a very young age to be able to be exposed to music, and if we seemed to have an affinity towards it or took to it, they didn't want to deny us the opportunity to be able to experience that. So they made as many sacrifices as they could to give us those opportunities.
I think that's wonderful. Now, the kind of music that you've chosen to play is sort of a middle ground. In other words, you choose things, not German lieder music or hard rock, punk, or that kind of thing. You have chosen really nice, listenable music that really appeals to a lot of people. How did you decide where you were going to light on this scale?
Oh boy, you know, that was very tricky for us. You know, we love and respect all sorts of music, so we definitely want to be playing something that we're passionate about. Like, we don't want to try and be something that we're not. So we make sure that everything we perform is something we're passionate about, but we also think about who we're performing for and what they might want to hear, and so we kind of try and, you know, whittle down our choices and our options until we find what we feel is the best choices, you know, for the concerts, and hopefully people enjoy them.
Does the section of the country make a difference?
You know, not really. I don't think. The one thing we found, I think, no matter where we are here in the country or even if we're abroad, is that the music speaks in the same way to everyone, and
everyone who comes.
Everyone who comes.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, it's something that you know, you can come to our concerts and you can just have fun, and you can hopefully be edified. I think a lot of people think that there's a separation between fun and edification, but we don't think that there has to be that separation. We think it can be one and the same.
Now, all 5 of you were at Juilliard at the same time, right? Right.
Yes.
So, was there any competition for who did better than anybody else? Or did you, even at that time, sort of do it together? How did that?
No, actually, we were all, you know, doing our own solo lessons, and we all got into Juilliard as soloists, and so, you know, the whole group mentality was not even there yet. But I think the thing about being at school together, we really enjoyed each other's company. You know, we would
That's
see
good.
each other
That's
in the
good.
hallways and eat together
Yeah.
in the cafeteria and stuff. And it was actually really, really nice because I didn't ever feel competition with my siblings. If anything, I felt like on a bad day, if I had a bad lesson or a bad performance class or something,
It wasn't
they
Ryan's
were
fault.
there. They were definitely there to buoy me up and make me feel like, hey, it happens. You know, I just had that experience last week. You know, so we all had, again, such a commonality at being at the same school, studying with the same teachers, that it made us so much closer.
At what point did you decide to become a traveling group, a performance group?
You know, I think that was as my sisters Desiree and Deandra were just finishing up their final year of their masters. They had been approached by a couple of agencies about signing the two of them as two piano players, and then we kind of got some interest through the media because all five of us were at Juilliard, and then we started talking amongst each other, and we're like, you know, we all have the same ideals about classical music and where we want to take it. So we started to think, well, maybe we should just pool our efforts, and kind of came about that way, and then it just kind of spiraled from
And then
there.
one day, there you were on a bus trying to get to the Johnson County Community College.
There you go.
What does the future hold for you?
Well, right now we're really excited. We just released our fourth album, is it? It's called The Five Browns in Hollywood. We've got some really fun music on
Now,
it.
the first one was just the Five Browns, wasn't it? So each
It's
one gets a little more
self-titled.
complicated.
we kind of look at them as different facets of who we are and our different tastes in music. And this album in particular is some of our favorite film scores. And so we're tonight's concert, we're playing some Star Wars and a couple other things that are just amazing scores that we feel very privileged to have really great arrangements made of.
I just think it's wonderful. Isn't it interesting how life evolves and how a plan is there, and sometimes it takes us a while to get on the road. And
Definitely.
I think it's wonderful, and your families have all said, "Go get them."
We need the support, definitely.
You do need it. Well, you do. You couldn't do it without. So, do any of you have children?
No kids yet, but I mean, there's so many of us, and family's so important to us that it's before too long, I'm sure it will happen.
Well, I think that'd be nice. Do any of your spouses ever travel with you?
You know, sometimes they do. I mean, they're all doing their own thing, either working or
Well,
doing
yeah, I
school
mean-
as well. So whenever they can make it out, most likely on the weekend, they'll come out and hang out with us, and it's nice. I think that we have to do it sometimes, especially on the longer 2 weeks or longer than that, and it really makes the stress a little bit easier for the traveling.
And I think the key is that each of them, you have a life together. You have a life with the five of you together, you have a life with your spouse together, but each of your spouses has a life of his or her own as well. And that keeps everybody mentally healthy. I really do. I think that's really quite true. They don't have to check on you, Ryan. Well, I am delighted, and I think that I have to say thank you so much for taking the time to say hello to all of the nice people that live in Johnson County. It's a big county. There are 500,000 people almost that live in this county. So there are a lot of people that know who the Browns are now. And as I say thank you to 50 talented fingers, 5 really nice young people, the 5 Browns, I say welcome to our community, and you better come back soon.
Thanks.
And I think that all of you out there that are our neighbors in our community, you can come to Johnson County Community College and enjoy about 25 performances throughout the year. There are artists, they're wonderful at what they do, and you will enjoy coming out here. So check the website, come to Johnson County Community College, because it's our community. 50 fingers. Bye. Thank you.